Hello everyone, welcome to e-learning of IT for 12th standard. This video is for 12th standard commerce students. We are discussing fourth chapter, that is e-commerce and e-governance. In last lectures we have completed with the first topic, that is e-commerce. Today we are going to start with the e-governance. So in today's lecture we are going to discuss about what is the e-governance, what are advantages of e-governance, and what are the different types of e-governance. So let us see first what is the e-governance. See, e-governance is nothing but using information technology in the government processes is nothing but a e-governance. It signifies the implementation of information technology in the government processes and functions so as to cause simple, moral, accountable and the transparent governance. So to make it simple, moral, accountable and transparent governance, we are using information technology in government processes and functions. Then it will be a e-governance. Basic purpose of e-governance is to simplify the processes for all, that is for government, for citizens and businesses also, at the national level, state level and local level. So from local, state to national level, to simplify the processes between government, citizen and businesses, e-governance is to be applied, or we have simplified the e-governance process. Hence, e-governance delivers the smart government. What this SMART stands for? Here, S stands for simple, M stands for moral, A stands for accessible, R stands for responsive, and the T stands for transparent government. So, in all, e-governance delivers simple, moral, accessible, responsive, and the transparent government. So that is about e-governance. So e-governance is nothing but using information technology in government processes and functions from local, state to national level to simplify the processes between government, citizens and businesses. Then let us see what are the advantages of e-governance. Using or implementing e-governance, it will reduce the corruption. See, there are less chances of corruption because any benefits, any advantages will get directly transferred into the account of the particular person. That's why intermediary corruption will get reduced. So that's why reduced corruption is one of the advantage of e-governance. Second one is a high transparency. See, anything that will be performed will get recorded forever. That's why it will have a high transparency. The records will be more transparent using e-governance. Then increase convenience. In way of a convenience also, user or customer does not have to wait for the particular benefit. He can get that benefit very easily, that is in a convenient way, and that's why increased convenience is the advantage of e-governance. Next, direct participation of constituents, that is every person can directly participate with these all processes. That's why it has a direct participation of constituents. Next, reduction in the overall cost. No any transportation charges or any other charges will get required, and that's why reduction will be in a overall cost. Then expanded the reach of government. See, if there is a lack of e-governance, then many of the facilities will get easily available in a metro cities, but those will not get easily accessible in a rural areas. So using e-governance, its reach will get expanded. That is, expanded reach is the one of the advantage of e-governance. So these are the different advantages of e-governance. Next one is the types of e-governance. So there are different types of e-governance, like G2C, that is government to citizen. Second one is government to businesses, that is G2B. Third one is a government to government, that is G2G. And the last, that is fourth one, is a government to employee, that is G2E. So these are the four different types of e-governance. Let us see one by one. First one is the government to citizen, that is G2C. The government to citizen refers to the government services which enable citizens to get access to wide variety of public services. That is, different services which are available for the different citizens, that will get easily accessible with from the government. So this refers to the government services which enable citizens to get access to wide variety of public services. Most of the services, government services, fall under the G2C, that is, those can be directly delivered from a government to citizen. It helps ordinary people to reduce the time and cost to conduct a transaction. So, for ordinary people, it will be more beneficial because it will get in a reduced cost as well as time to perform a particular transaction. A citizen can have access to the services anytime from anywhere. So there is no limitation of a geographical area. Any citizen can have access from anywhere for the services. Furthermore, many services like a license renewal, paying tax are essential in a G2C. So many services are there like license renewals, paying tax, or many more operations are there which citizen has to perform, that can be performed with a e-governance, that is a that falls under the government to citizen type. It also focuses on a geographical land barriers. So geographical land barriers are there, and that can also get focused from a e-governance. So that is a government to citizen. Any benefit, any kind of operation can easily be get performed between a government to citizen directly. That is a G2C type. Next one is a G2B, that is government to business. Government to business is the exchange of services between government and business organization. So services will get exchanged from government to business. Suppose any business wants to have certain permissions from the government, or any different documents are to be exchanged, then there is a no need of paperwork. They can directly perform such operation using digital media. So G2B provides access to the relevant forms needed to comply. So G2B provides access to those forms which are necessary. The G2B also consists of many services exchanged between business sector and government. So many different services forms will be there that are exchanged between a business and a government. It aims at eliminating the paperwork, so saving the time, cost, and establish the transparency in the business environment while interacting with the government. See, there is a elimination of a paperwork, so it saves the cost, it saves the time also, and it establishes a transparency because every document is exchanged in a digital way. That's why it is recorded in a database. Anytime it can be viewed, so it has a more transparency. So to exchange the services information between government to businesses, it will provide a more transparency, will get reduced in a cost time. So this is about the second type of governance, that is G2B, government to business. Next one is a government to government, that is G2G. G2G refers to the interaction between different government departments, organizations, and agencies. That is, government will have different departments, organizations. So, those different agencies, departments can interact with each other in this using this particular type of e-governance, that is G2G. In G2G, government agencies can share the same database using online communication. So, overall database use in this will be same, and that can be accessed from every department, organization, and agency of the government. The government departments can work together, and so same database is there, and that's why every department of the government can work together. In conclusion, G2G services can be at the local level or at the international level. So G2G provides both local level as well as international level services. Likewise, it provides a safe and secure interrelationship between domestic or foreign government. So it provides a safe and secure interrelationship between domestic and foreign government. So government to government kind of interaction falls under these types, that is government to government, that is G2G e-governance. And the last type of e-governance is the government to employee. See, we have already seen government to government. So government to employee is the integral part of G2G sector. Furthermore, G2E aims to bring employees together and improvise the knowledge sharing. So G2E aims to bring all the employees together, to have all employees together, so that knowledge sharing will get increased, will get improved. Similarly, G2E provides online facilities to the employees like applying for the leave, reviewing the salary payment record, checking the balance of holiday. So these many different facilities are online facilities are provided for a employee by the government. The G2E sector provides human resource training and development also. So government can arrange a certain training for the development of the employees. So that also falls under the this type, that is G2E type. So G2E is also the relationship between employees, government institutions and their management. So what are the different employees working for the government will be the part of this type, that is government to employee. So it has a relationship between employee, government and their management. So that is the fourth type of e-governance, government to employee. So these are the four different types of e-governance. First one is government to citizen, that is G2C. Second one is a government to business, that is G2B. Third one is government to government, that is G2G. And the last one is government to employee, that is G2E. See, this is the diagram which concludes about e-governance. So using or applying, implementing e-governance, it will provide us better security because it will have a more transparency. Then it will be simple and efficient, that is no complicated task will be there. It will be a simple and efficient, very easily we can access it. There will be a transparency and accountability, that is directly citizen can interact with the government, businesses will directly interact with the government. Every record will be in a digital form, will be stored in a database, so there will be a transparency and accountability. Then easy maintenance, there is no burden of maintenance, it has a easy maintenance. Then instant access, every person, every citizen can access easily and in a within a less time, so it has a instant access. Then expanded the reach of governance. See, every facility will be available from local to national level, so expanded the reach of governance. Then better service for citizens, so more simplified services will be available for the citizens, so it will have a better service for citizens. It is a cost effective because transportation charges and many other in between cost will get reduced, that's why e-governance is a cost effective. So these are different features of the e-governance, that is implementing e-governance we will get all these benefits of e-governance. So note down all about these, that is what is e-governance, what are advantages of e-governance, then four different types of e-governance, as well as draw this diagram also. Thank you.